Season 2 Spongebob episode Shanghai is one of my all-time favorite episodes, and it just had 3 alternate endings released to the public. These endings being animated not with the episode 25 years ago, but as recent as 2 years ago in 2024. So let's see how they hold up alongside the actual endings from back in the day. So these new endings were released as part of Spongebob's birthday celebration. Not like birthday of the show, but the birthday of the character, Spongebob. And that's why Tom Kenny is at the top of the screen, because this is from a TikTok video that was released on the official Spongebob account, which means it's gonna be slightly hard to see some of the endings because it's gonna be cropped for the TikTok aspect ratio. But it is still in fact 3 entirely new endings for Shanghai. Shanghai is a bit weird because it already had 3 different endings. The reason the episode had alternate endings in the first place is because back when it first aired, it had fan voting for which of the 3 characters would get a wish from the Flying Dutchman. And now there are 3 new ones, so now the episode got 6 endings with 2 for each character. So let's make sure we are all on board with which one is which, because otherwise this might get confusing. So Spongebob's original ending was that he wished for the Flying Dutchman to be a vegetarian so he wouldn't eat them. But then they just turned into fruit and were eaten anyway. The new ending is pretty similar.
Don't worry, Squidward, I got it! I wish the Flying Dutchman was too full to eat us!
But now they turn into drinks, so now he drinks them. Patrick's old ending was that he, after thinking for a while,
I got it! The wish is granted! Oh, I'm sorry. Want some gum?
just wished for gum, and then they were eaten. Patrick's new ending is just him endlessly wishing for new wishes.
Another wish!
Okay. And this time...
Oh! Another wish!
He just keeps wishing for them one at a time until Squidward makes the wish for him.
And another wish after that too!
I can't take it anymore. I'd rather be eaten than listen to this 1 second longer.
And they are eaten anyway. Squidward's original ending was that he wished that he never met SpongeBob and Patrick.
So be it!
Hi there, I don't believe we've met. My name is Spongebob, and this is my associate, Patrick.
Hi.
That's not what I meant.
But then he just still was on the ship, and they just didn't know him, so they were eaten anyway. Squidward's new ending. Squidward wishes that he was home and they had no way of wishing him back.
Good to have you back, buddy!
Back? What?
But then they just end up being home, but in his stomach, so they get eaten anyway. The new endings are a lot better than the show is now, like as it is, but it still does not feel like season 2 to me. If you pause on certain frames, it does kinda look like it could be a deleted scene from the episode from back in the day. This is however because especially Spongebob's wish, Spongebob's ending, is literally copied. Like, I'm gonna put them side by side here. This is not new animation, they are literally just reusing the old ending. But other times it really just looks like modern SpongeBob made a sequel episode to Shanghai. Like Patrick, for example, looks absolutely nothing like his season 2 self, but he does make a few poses that looks like they could be from classic SpongeBob, but he himself does not look like classic Patrick. Squidward, he just keeps doing modern poses and stuff. If they aren't literally just copying poses from classic episodes, they are not gonna move or look like they are classic. But it's still better than modern Spongebob usually is. And I like the color scheme they pulled off. I think they nailed that as opposed to how the show usually looks now. Let's talk about the writing of the new endings. Since these are not actual lost endings, they're not only newly animated, they're also newly written. And it kinda shows. It's not as funny as the stuff from the original episode to me. Now, there are still decently funny bits, like Patrick constantly asking for new wishes.
Many wishes later.
Another wish! And another wish!
However, compared to the original endings, they fall a bit short. The pacing is pretty good though. I like how the dialogue flows. It's honestly miles better than your average episode from this era. Like this, if this came out in 2024, when it was originally made, that would have been season 14, which is like arguably the worst season of the show. And it's definitely, the writing is a lot better than season 14. Something I really like with the original endings and the whole classic show in general is how they do a thing where when characters are talking and stuff, other characters are reacting by changing expressions or like making short replies and stuff, like with Patrick here.
You know what I wish?
No!
I wish.
Like, it's such a small thing, but classic SpongeBob was full of small things that made it just great. Like, there, Squidward could just have kept going. He could have said like, you know what I wish? I wish. There was no need for Patrick to say no in between and look confused. Almost like slightly angry, but they still put that in there, and it just elevates the scene in my opinion. They kinda did something similar in the new ending with Patrick in SpongeBob's ending.
I don't want to be trapped here forever. Especially not with you.
Or me.
Or him.
Like, in theory it is similar, right? But it's different. This is them making a whole joke and the characters are reacting to it and answering to it. Whereas with the original line, Patrick just saying no, it was like they cut to him and then cut back. It was like a quick, subtle, little extra gag thing. You can feel that it's not a classic SpongeBob joke, but it is in that direction, and I like that. One thing I noticed though is that there are still very much modern SpongeBob mannerisms in these endings. Modern SpongeBob goes for more sound effects and music changes and stuff, which can make it feel a bit more overstimulating, and it's pretty noticeable that these are in fact new endings, because you can tell. The music in general gives that off. They are using more new tracks, and I feel like if they wanted to really make these endings feel like actual endings to a season 2 episode, they should have worked more with older tracks and made the sound design match the original endings. Because like, except for the voices, because the voice actors are obviously like 25 years older at this point, or what would that be, like 20 something at least, and they obviously can't change that. I think they pitch SpongeBob's voice a bit maybe, but even without the voices themselves, you can hear on the sound design from the original endings and the new endings that these are different eras of the show. But even if I don't think this is on the same level as the original episode, it is definitely a step in the right direction and shows that they can make stuff that feels closer to the classic era, at least with the visuals. These endings are better than modern SpongeBob, and this is also a lot better and closer to looking and feeling like the classic era than something like A Fish Called Sandy or Timeline Twist Up. Now, these endings were made like 2 years ago and were supposed to release in 2024 for the 25th anniversary of the show, but I still would much rather they try to do more stuff like this, but with new episodes. Like, not adding stuff to more old episodes or doing more remakes or stuff. I mean, like, make the new episodes more like this. Cause this is all new content that was just added on to an old episode, so clearly they can make stuff that at least feels a bit more like classic Spongebob. Of course, replicating the art style is only one thing, but with slightly better dialogue, it's a step in the right direction, I think. And who knows, they might get better at it and one day we can have another classic era level episode.